Hey, you, hanging out at the SmackDown Hotel, eating on some poontang pie. You don't want to be a jabroni, do you? That's why you gotta watch Young Rock. Welcome back, all you Fabricans and Fleshbags, to the Super Not Funny Show Reviews. I am Mo Thépuppét, your friendly neighborhood fabricant and commenter extraordinaire on all things pop culture. Today, I'll be giving you my thoughts on the premiere episode of Young Rock from NBC, entitled Working the Gimmick. Was it good? Was it bad? And should you be watching? Let's find out, because I have opinions about things. If you smell what Young Rock is cooking. Young Rock, the newest sitcom from NBC, looks back at the life of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as a series of stories told by him and about his family as he runs for president in 2032. It's a fun framing device that works because, god dang it, The Rock is just a cool and charismatic man that everyone, or most everyone, just likes to see and hear from. And it's not exactly crazy either, the premise at least, considering the trajectory of American politics. We have Randall Park brilliantly playing himself, interviewing The Rock as if on a TV news special. So the title of this episode is Working the Gimmick, and Working the Gimmick is a reference to the world of pro wrestling that The Rock was raised around. And that essentially means to outwardly portray the built-up persona or personas to the world at large. In this case, the wrestling personas. If you ever watch pro wrestling, you know they're big personalities, and in a way, they try to blur the line between real life and the in-ring life, just to connect with people. And that's working the gimmick is outside of the ring. They try to be the same person they are in the ring. As his father, the wrestling legend Rocky Johnson, put it in the episode, the goal is to work the gimmick until the gimmick became real. We see the way Young Rock internalizes and expresses this ethos as a kid, a high schooler, and a freshman football player at the University of Miami. Well, fans of pro wrestling, the classic pro wrestling, 70s, 80s, will feel all the nostalgia and exhilaration of seeing Little Rock, Little Dwayne, Little Dewey as he's called in the series, rubbing shoulders with legends like Andre the Giant, the Iron Sheik, Junkyard Dog. One day he makes the mistake in the episode of calling what they do fake, and Andre has to, well, let's say correct, to correct him in a very funny and sweet way that really hits the feels, to essentially not ever call it fake, and or in this context, not to denigrate or downplay their profession. Later we see high school Young Rock going to great lengths to achieve popularity by stealing clothes and buying a very beat up old car, complete with homeless squatters, which is very hilarious actually, and all with all with the goal of impressing a certain young lady with his outward trappings of having money. There's a very memorable interaction with a particular squatter, a sage, if you will, a homeless sage named Waffle, who really kind of puts into perspective where the Young Rock's priorities really ought to be. And it turns into a really actually sweet and interesting show of his character. Then, of course, later we have the Miami Hurricane Rock, the young freshman, going into the locker room for the first time, only to find that his father had been there earlier and had gassed him up to the entire locker room about how great he is, and really to anybody who would listen about how great his son was. And the idea, of course, working that gimmick. But rather than embarrassing himself and his father, the Young Rock goes along with it and he learns to lean into the gimmick, if you will. And he pushes himself in a very memorable way to break a weightlifting record in front of the whole team, thereby really making the gimmick real. In all these stories, the phrase working the gimmick just takes on a new and deeper meaning. Man, I tell you what, this show is great. And it has a little bit for everyone. There's some nostalgia, there's a lot of heart, lots of laughs, and plenty of hints at The Rock that we all know and love. The show pointedly doesn't dance around the somewhat negative aspects of The Rock's life, such as his sometimes waywardness, his relatively absent father, and his mother's tendency to avoid giving him too much of the truth just to protect him. But you know what? It works with the nostalgia and the clear love and respect he had for those in his life to present a perhaps maybe romanticized but still fun look at how Dwayne Johnson, we know, came to be The Rock. I think the actors all bring their A game, and the writers are bringing their A game. It's just a fun, sweet, nice little show. It hits you in the feels. It's funny. It is funny. It's genuinely funny. And kudos to Randall Park for playing a version of himself that, to be honest, I really just want to see more of. And The Rock, of course, he's The Rock. We love The Rock. So, just overall, great package. Young Rock, it's a fun show. One that I really look forward to following for hopefully years to come. And I think you should definitely check it out, especially if you're a fan of The Rock himself or of pro wrestling. I think you'll really get a kick out of it. That's my review of Young Rock Episode 1, Working the Gimmick from NBC. Did you like my review? Did you agree with it? Disagree with it? Hit the comments down below and let me know what you think. And if you like the video, hit the like button. Also, if you're not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button and hit the bell notifications. Hit the bell to let you know when we are dropping new content. Because, we're doing reviews around here. We're doing reactions and we're just talking about pop culture stuff on the Super Not Funny show. And of course, if you want to hit me up on social media or email, it's supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com and at supernotfunnys1. Let's get in there and chop it up about Young Rock. All right, come back next week to join me for episode 2 of Young Rock. And until then, all you Fabricans and Fleshbags, you guys take care of yourselves, and I'll see you on the other side of the thread. Peace.